Hi everyone, how are you guys doing, and welcome to my channel. A few things before we kind of start with the reading. I've been working on my website, which is ikarotarot.com. I'm Ikaro Tarot everywhere. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, of course here on YouTube as Ikaro Tarot, and my website is ikarotarot.com. And I actually put up a few items just in time for the holidays. And also it's this jacket. So this t-shirt is not yet available. The design is not there yet, but this jacket, the design of this jacket is on a t-shirt as well. So for myself, I got this jacket because the weather is changing, right? And up here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting cooler. For some parts of more north, it's already pretty cold. So I was like, I'm gonna get a jacket first. I don't have the t-shirt yet, but I will get it. And I also got myself the large fanny pack. We also have a regular size fanny pack too. I am super happy with the quality of how everything looks. There's a ton of items in there beyond just jacket and fanny packs and t-shirts. You're gonna find pretty much, I think, whatever you need or whatever you're looking for a friend, loved one. Even stuff for your pets as well. I can't forget our pets and our familiars, right? So please go check it out. It would mean a lot to me just to look at it, see if you like anything, and hopefully you get something just so we can kind of represent the tarot fam. You know, so right now they're all Rider-Waite-Smith. I am thinking about making perhaps a Thoth line. I know some of us are fans of the Thoth tarot. I know I am. I'm kind of a fan of all tarot, and I'm definitely a fan of both, of Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth. To me, I see them as similar systems. I actually often kind of see them as the same, just different visuals to represent the same thing, right? They both go just as deep as you want them to. I do know that the Thoth, at first view, is a bit more intimidating. So I understand why most of us, myself included, go for the RWS, the Rider-Waite-Smith, right? But whatever path you choose, there is no wrong. All tarot are welcome here, so welcome, welcome. Okay, I wanted to come on and do a video because we're going into the end of the year. The weather is changing. And I feel like I just want to open up with the question of, is everyone having a very hard time? I'm not going to get too political here. And I see the problem, you know, because a lot of spiritual teachers I follow, myself very much included in this, in what I'm about to say, in this group, we don't really, we're not really talking about the hard things of the collective. We're just kind of pulling cards and going a bit light, you know? Now, I guess to make excuses, right? But for me, I've just been having a hard time in my personal life anyway. So for me to tackle on the collective energy, right? We are already going through it individually, and the collective does affect us individually. So I'm gonna be maybe another spiritual teacher saying, whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're dealing with, just let yourself deal with it, you know? One thing too, another excuse I'm gonna say, right, is that I don't put everything out there. I'm not one of those social media influencers that just cry on camera, you know, and just it's ultra vulnerable. I'm not, because a lot of it is private. A lot of it is sacred to me, and I think that's perfectly reasonable to have sacred space, to have sacred moments. If you are someone who cries on camera and shows up and is much more open, that's great. if it makes you feel comfortable and if it makes you feel bright and good, then keep doing it, because I know people out there need that light. I, for one, am more of the spectrum of this is private, this is sacred. I'm gonna work with it myself, between me, God, my journal, and my therapist, and my tarot cards. You know what I mean? It's my sacred space and my inner work. However you work with your inner work, if you need to be more demonstrative, right? I've seen a few spiritual teachers kind of talk about feeling resentful just within themselves. They're like, oh man, I feel resentful about this, or I feel angry about that. And then a lot of the comments are like, hey, you're a spiritual teacher, be more positive. And I'm like, no, don't be more positive. Be authentic, be real. Because here's what I see. When people do share their anger, when people do share their tears and their moments of darkness, right? Their moments of vulnerability, it's just them working through it. Especially if I see a spiritual teacher doing it. Now, we can see bullshit, right? All of us here are intuitive. So you can tell when someone is kind of like working through something, you know? I think we've all done it where we kind of like, we're talking to a friend and then we maybe subconsciously steer the conversation towards a topic that we don't feel great about, right? We steer towards a topic that we kind of want to cry about it and open up about it. And then we cry, we yell, we move, and then we move through it. And then we get out of it and we go, oh, I kind of feel better. I'm ready to share my light again. So I'm all about dualities. If you're there, if you're here sharing your light, it's okay to share your darkness too, you know? And when I say I'm private, I'm telling you guys I'm having a hard time. Hopefully you can relate to it. And if you don't, that's great. I hope you're feeling bright and sunny and that you're shining your light onto other people's lives. You know, so however it is that you're working through it, allow yourself to work through it. So I have a few decks here with us, and I just pulled one card before I got started. And it's the Four of Pentacles, the card of power. Now, I do love this imagery because we're kind of seeing a bird's eye view of a fort or a castle, right? And then there's the moat, water around it. And here's the opening. Here's where the gate is. And then we have the sigils for the four elements. So here's a card of power, personal power. This card to me is also a card of protection, of boundaries, right? The moat here, water, to me is very cleansing and intuitive. One of the most cleansing things we can do is cry. So the tears here, the water here is, and also with just the one gateway, to me, this card tells me, who are you allowing in to see your tears? Not everyone deserves them, because I think we all know some people will mock it. Some people will be uncomfortable by your tears and be like, no, don't cry. Look at this. Look at something bright and light and happy, happy, happy. Not always. Not always. Maybe human beings are not always capable of receiving someone else's tears and emotions, but God always is. And what I have learned, and I'm passing on to you, is that whenever you are in a moment that you just want to curse God, you just want to curse the universe and yell and say, bad words, say curse words because you're mad at God, I believe that it's perfectly healthy for you to express it. Because first of all, God knows, right? I say God, but whatever you can translate that word to whatever you believe in. To me, God is not the Christian God. To me, God is just this massive umbrella term that means all the deities, to be honest with you. That's how I see it. So, bit of a disclaimer there. God is everywhere. God is outside, but it's also in. God is us, and we are it. So we can try to hide our anger all we want. God knows. They already know what we're feeling at the deepest part of ourselves. And there's a lot of talk on social media, and a lot of this healing talk comes from regulating our nervous system. I love that conversation. And here's what I have learned. The opposite of an unregulated nervous system is not indifference. It's not feeling anything. If someone triggers you and provokes you, not feeling angry doesn't mean that you've healed. What it means that you have healed is you are able to express your anger without guilt. Or maybe you do feel a little guilty, but even with guilt, you express it. That's how you express your power, right? By kind of using these four corners, this base, this foundation, right? To express your personal power. Anger gets a lot of stuff done. It does, because it's fire. It moves us forward. It makes us say no. It makes us close the door gate and go, no, I don't want you here, or yes, I do want you here because I need to express this anger and you are a safe space for me. So once again, unregulated nervous system is anxiety, it's depression, right? It's anger, but in an explosive way where we just annihilate everything. A regulated nervous system, you still feel angry, you still feel triggered, you still feel sad, you still feel depressed, but you are able to express it in a way that is deserving, meaning deep within that you deserve to express your depression, to express your anger in a healthy way. So it's not cussing someone out. Although I think it's, like I said earlier, I think it's very healthy for us to do that in private, And then once that fire is kind of like a little bit more down, then we can approach the person, we can approach the trigger in a more balanced way and go, okay, so listen, that didn't feel good. That made me feel this way. That triggered me this way. And then we say, please stop doing it. Please do it differently. Please listen to what I'm saying so we can work it out. Does that make sense? Unregulated nervous systems push and destroy. Regulated nervous systems, they welcome in and they balance. I hope that makes sense to you guys, but that has been what I have learned in my personal journey. Okay. Let's pull a few more tarot cards. So it's funny, I started this video my plan to start the video was just talk about the end of the year, pull some cards, but all that started coming out and I was like, I guess it needs to be said. So let's pull some cards. It may reinforce our message. It may be something completely different. I came, to do this video a bit more casually. I really just wanted to connect with you guys and almost wish a happy holidays if you celebrate, and a happy new year. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video in December. I might. Maybe we'll do a forecast, an actual 2024 energy forecast. Okay, we've got the Queen of Discs or Pentacles. If you have another tarot deck. Oh wow, a lot of discs. We got the Ace of Discs in reverse. The Knight of Wands. And another 4. The 4 of Wands. Oh, interesting. So, okay. So we've got two discs, the Queen of Discs and the Ace. And we have two wands, the Knight of Wands and the Four of Wands. Very interesting. And it's funny because the two court cards came upright and the other two came reversed. So we have like upright disc, reversed disc, upright wand, reversed wand. What does that mean? I'm not sure. We're gonna find out together. I just find it interesting when the tarot creates these patterns, because what does that mean, right? We have upright and reversed, upright, reversed. It's creating this wave, right? It's creating this rhythm of ebb and flow, the tide in, tide out. Breath, right? So there seems to be a rhythm about moving forward. So Queen of Pentacles, to me, she's all about confidence. She is all about being grounded in our vision. I do love this depiction of the Queen of Wands because she's not looking at us directly. She's kind of looking at this path, right? She's sitting on a pineapple, funny enough, and she's looking backwards. Now, to me, well, we are in Scorpio season, so our ancestors and looking at our childhoods and looking even back, even towards the ancestors, seems to be stronger this time of year. And I do think that there is a re-evaluation of our lives. I definitely have been, for sure, doing a bit of a re-evaluation in my life. And I feel like that goes into when I first said to you guys, is anyone having a hard time? Is anyone else having a really hard time? Because I am not who I want to be yet. And to sound like my lowest self, which again, it's okay to sound, I believe, so we're all about affirmations, right? There's so much talk in the spiritual community of don't say negative words. Don't say, I am broke. Don't say, I am depressed. Say, I'm working through it, or I am coming out of it, or something. And I do believe that words have power. However, most of us, scratch that. I believe first and foremost in authentic expression. Now, I do think that we should say to people, right, in our daily lives, oh, I am working on my money blockages, right? Or I'm working on my money receptivity, if you want to talk about I am broke, right? But when you're alone, when it's just you in your journal, when it's just you and God, when it's just you and your tarot cards, I think it's perfectly okay and healthy to express yourself fully, right? All these power gods, going back to the power card, right? Power goddesses, for example, like Kali, right? Or Sekhmet, right? Their two mythologies is that they just, like, so their story is very destructive, but they weren't afraid to express themselves fully until they were able to balance it out. You know what I mean? So I'm a big fan of word vomit, is what people call it sometimes, right? Just word dump, just say everything that's on your mind. Because once all that mental debris is kind of like swept away, then we get to the truth of the matter, right? And then our feelings kind of change, not always for the better, but sometimes we go from sad to angry, or angry to sad. And then we get to a bit more of the root of the thing. Does that make sense? So it's like on top of the real feeling, there's all this dirt. We have to kind of blow away the dirt with like, and then we get to the roots of the matter and we go, oh, this is really what I'm feeling buried underneath all of that negative self-talk. But I believe when it's just you, when it's your cards and you and God, it's okay for you to say whatever comes to your mind. So that's the Queen of Discs. Then we have the Ace of Discs in reverse. I feel like this one is very connected to the Knight of Wands. Talk about fiery self-expression. Look at all this fire here, right? The Knight of Wands is on this horse. He's holding a torch, and look at all this fire. Look at his cape. So this kind of triangle shape is his cape, and it's made of fire. Talk about fiery expression. So I feel like there are things from the past that haven't been expressed yet from us, and maybe it's causing us this anger, this trigger. The Knight of Wands expresses it, right? First, privately, in a really destructive way, but then in public, in a more balanced out way. Does that make sense? Because remember, we're not all fire, we're also not all earth. They both came together. So fire is your private life, fire in the heart. So express that fire, right? Queen of Discs, that's the earth. The earth grounds us. And then we go, okay, how can I use this anger to express myself in a healthy and constructive way? Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Because Ace of Discs are the seeds. They're all about new beginnings, but it's in reverse. Now, it doesn't mean that, so reversals to me don't mean the opposite sometimes, but not always. So for example, here, the Ace of Discs in reverse, to me, it doesn't mean you're not gonna grow. To me, it just means, hey, there's some work to be done here. The card still came out. God, the universe, your subconscious is showing you, hey, the Ace of Discs is available to you. How do we water the seed so we can actually turn it upright and let it grow? Equally, the Four of Wands. This is stability. In this deck, they call it completion. So we actually have like a full circle here, right? So the full circle is interesting how they both have circles, right? So interestingly to me, the circle means we go from being the good guy to like kind of getting like a little eye twitch because we're getting triggered, going to full expression, going into balance, going back to being the good guy. When I say the good guy, I mean feeling good within ourselves. Feel like authentically saying to you, hey, I've expressed myself. They may not have heard me. They may not have, because we can't control someone else's actions. So they may not react to you the way you would have liked them to. But there is a quiet kind of peace when we're able to say, I did my part. Like when we're able to say, I have expressed myself how I see fit. What they do is up to them. How they receive it is up to them. What they do with the information I gave them is up to them. But at least it's out of me. Okay? This video is getting to like 23 minutes right now. I don't know if it's too long, but I do want to bust out the Tree of Life. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Tree of Life in the tarot, it's this symbol right here. So I handmade one myself. I was having fun a little while back. And sorry, let me just move some stuff here. Okay. All right. So this is what the Tree of Life looks like. We have 10 Sephiroth is what they're called, or spheres, right? But it's Sephiroth. Kind of like if you're Norse pagan, you have the 9 worlds. Although Native Americans, or indigenous, I should say, shamanic is more middle world, lower world, and upper world. I only know those 3. I don't know if there are worlds within worlds. To be honest, probably there are. I don't know. So this is kind of like that idea, right? So there are 10. What that means is the top here are the aces in the tarot. Then you go 2, 3, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. What that means is it's aces, twos, threes, fours, so they all live in their own little world. And then these white lines over here, there are 22, what they're called emanations. What do they relate to? The 22 major arcana, exactly. Now, why do I bring this all up? Because this is a map. We're looking at these cards, right? We pulled cards. Where are they on the tree? And then how, so for example, the queens, they're actually also on the twos. They belong up here in this world, which is actually called Bina, which translates into understanding. This is the womb of creation. This is the divine mother energy. So we go from a single source to two, right? This top here is kind of like the Trinity, like Father, Mother, and kind of like Holy Spirit, the Om, the All, whatever it is that you want to call it. This is ruled by Metatron. So, yeah, so the queens are here. I think I said this is the twos. I'm sorry. The twos are over here. It's because I'm kind of looking at it backwards. Through the camera, I'm looking at it backwards. So why do I bring this up? So we got a queen and we have an ace. So we're on this path right here. These are the aces. These are the queens or the threes. I said twos earlier. It's really the threes. So we have the aces and we have the queens. Now this path right here is the path of the magician. The magician has all of the resources with him, right? The magician is able to take in energy, any kind, and alchemize it, shift it, balance it out, stabilize it, okay? So when it comes to strong emotions, it's, in my eyes, it's very okay for them to be fully expressed. Now, we don't want them to be destructive towards the other person or the situation. We want them to be constructive, right? So get out whatever you need to get out. All the curse words, get out of them in private. And then when you're ready, come forward and use your resources to balance it out. Because the aces are about new beginnings. So here, once we're able to kind of express, we travel upwards and then we get to the new beginnings, right? The knights, so I'm using the Thoth Tarot, and it's a bit of a switch because the knights in the Thoth are the kings in the RWS. So the kings / knights are up here. So now look at where we are. We are on this trinity right here. We're also looking at the Fool. So this path from the ace to the twos, these are the twos, or the kings / knights, is the Fool. It's the Fool. What's the Fool? New beginnings. The Fool is authentic expression, but in a light way. The Fool is very light. I believe the Fool to be a bit of a lighter energy. So we're dealing with very high energy because, so I'm gonna make more videos on this. So if it's too overwhelming, take a deep breath. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at us at once, but as the videos go on, the more I make, the more clear things will get. So there are about like 4 worlds. I just did this. 4 worlds in here. So the top 3, this top triangle is a supernal triangle. Almost like the celestial world. These 3 up here, I'm forgetting what they're called now. There's a name for them. But anyway, it's another trinity. These 3 down here are the personality trinities. And then this one down here, which is Malkuth, which is the kingdom, which actually this represents our world. Middle world, Midgard, the planet Earth, Gaia, right? Us, ourselves. This is kind of like the 4th world. So it's kind of like fire, water, air, and Earth. Okay, so our final card is the number 4. The 4s are this blue world right here, which are ruled by Jupiter. So then we have kind of like this path upwards towards the heavens in some way. So this is the world of Hesed, the world of mercy. Interesting, we're talking about anger and full self-expression, right? But the fours are ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is usually a benevolent planet, right? I don't really hear people talk negative about Jupiter. So Jupiter is a more benevolent planet. So again, and then we have this path right here. From the fours to the twos is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about higher esoteric knowledge. What does that mean? I believe it encompasses everything I said. So how do we get to higher knowledge? By working through the lower knowledges. What I mean by that is by honoring our anger. In this world, we are so scared of our negative feelings, we actually call them negative. Where the more and more I kind of go deeper into myself and work on myself, I'm seeing these negative energies less and less in a negative light. Why? Because anger gets stuff done. Anger is the fire that makes you say no, stop, or yes, I'm gonna go do that because I'm angry over here, I'm gonna move myself that way. It's this cannon, right? Now, so we have to feel the lower chakras that we have in order to get to the upper ones. Because we are all of it, right? We can't deny our base chakra so we can live on the crown chakra all the time. We are this rainbow bridge. Another secret, right, which is not really a secret, is that this whole tree, even though each sphere is ruled by a planet, this is us. This is a map of our inner world, right? So if you guys don't know, these little stickers here, they're not stickers actually, so I bought the tiny tarot. It's so cute. They really are this tiny. And then I have double-sided tape and I taped it to here because I wanted to have this visual cue. I know it's a bit far from you guys, but you see how so these are the worlds of the fives. So these are all the fives in the tarot. Again, I'm gonna break this down on more videos. I'm gonna keep bringing up the Tree of Life because I really like it. And it's part of the tarot. So, we're gonna keep talking more and more about it. And then the more we talk about it, the more little bite sizes we get from this. And the more we just repeat the information, the more you guys are gonna get what I mean by this. And you can do your own reading. So then from here, we go to wisdom. This is Chokmah, which translates to wisdom. So we go from mercy to wisdom because the Hierophant is that path towards higher wisdom, right? Gabora right here, I'm gonna bring it in just because the red one is Mars. Of course it is, the red planet, the planet of war. But it's not just war. Again, it's not just unbalanced emotion. It is authentic self-expression. And once we're able to just, as much as you can yell, you can also be silent. It's all about balance. We go back and forth. No wonder the threes here are all activated right now, bringing us down into mercy. And mercy takes us upwards towards this higher trinity. All right? So allow yourself the full range of emotions in this human experience. All right? I feel like that's what this card is saying because look, completion. We get to, by authentically expressing ourselves, we get to complete the cycle. Because when we don't say something, it haunts us, right? How many of us have memories that haunt us? Because you didn't say what you wanted and that person didn't hear what you have to say, right? If you can express that, now is the time. If you can't physically express that Write it down. When you're home alone, yell it out to yourself. Dance it out, shake it out, right? What is it? Taylor Swift song, Shake It Off? Shake it off. She's not wrong. Shake it off. Literally, if you can't do it physically one-on-one with that person or that situation, do it by journaling, do it by shaking it off with your body. But we can't be looking backwards anymore. It's time to be looking forward. It's time to actually allow the thing to overcome you. You're the magician, right? We got the magician card. Not specifically, but it's there. It's on the path. It's activated because it's between these two. So in between these two, the magician is activated. You get to take that energy, churn it, alchemize it, and release it. All right. That was a lot of power, I think. Okay. So thank you so much. I feel like this is a bit of a longer video, but maybe it's a lot of stuff that we needed to hear. Clearly a lot of stuff I needed to express. So hopefully you can take something away from it. And honestly, I do. I look forward to seeing you guys next year. I look forward to like where this channel is gonna go, the way I'm gonna show up on here. Let me know what you guys think about the Tree of Life, if you guys liked it, if it was too much. But I think it's a really great tool. It can be very overwhelming. I get it. There's still a lot of it that I don't know. But we can learn together, and I love that. All right. So sending you guys so much love. If you celebrate, happy holidays, and happy New Year. Hopefully I'll see you guys in December. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.